Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to NHK, Russian President Vladimir Putin is scheduled to visit China for 2 days starting May 19th, where he will hold a summit meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders are expected to exchange views on bilateral relations, as well as international and regional issues, with discussions likely to include the situations in Ukraine and Iran. This visit is notably arranged to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the signing of the China-Russia Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation. Following U.S. President Trump's recent summit with President Xi in Beijing, Russia's presidential press secretary Dmitry Peskov indicated on May 15th that U.S.-China interactions would also be among the topics for discussion between Putin and Xi. China's foreign ministry spokesperson, Guo Jiakun, expressed anticipation for deeper and higher-level development in bilateral relations during a press conference on May 18th. It is observed that the Chinese and Russian leaders will likely discuss the outcomes of the recent U.S.-China summit and collectively project a stance that counters the international order dominated by Europe and the United States, thereby reaffirming their commitment to continued solidarity and cooperation. 联合早报 reports that according to the U.S. political news website Politico, the possibility of former U.S. President Donald Trump taking military action against Cuba is increasing. The article published on Monday, May 18th, states that U.S. pressure tactics against Cuba have not been effective, leading Trump to feel frustrated. U.S. officials and informed sources indicate that, while initial U.S. actions in Venezuela and a series of sanctions aimed to coerce Cuba into an agreement, the Cubans have proven to be tougher than expected, especially with the situation in Iran being out of control. As a result, military options are now being considered. The U.S. Southern Command has reportedly held meetings in recent weeks to draft potential military action plans, which could range from single airstrikes to ground invasions, although no immediate action is planned. A White House official reiterated that the Pentagon's role is to be prepared to offer the commander-in-chief maximum options, without implying that a decision has been made. Cuba, on its part, has condemned the increasing U.S. threats, labeling them as dangerous and unprecedented, and affirmed its resolve to defend national sovereignty and independence. NHK reports an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, has resulted in at least 100 deaths and over 390 suspected cases. The outbreak was confirmed in the northeastern province of Ituri, and the Bundibugyo strain, which lacks an effective vaccine, has been detected. One death has also been reported in neighboring Uganda. The World Health Organization, WHO, has declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern, emphasizing vigilance, though it does not yet meet the criteria for a pandemic. In response to the crisis, President Donald Trump expressed concern, and the U.S. administration has implemented a ban on foreign nationals who have visited the DRC, Uganda, and South Sudan within the last 21 days. Yonhap News Agency reports that the Bank of Korea, BOK, has estimated a potential general strike at Samsung Electronics Servisko could significantly impact the South Korean economy. According to BOK officials, such a strike could cut the nation's economic growth by 0.5 percentage points this year. The central bank's closed-door report submitted to the finance ministry projects losses from the potential strike at approximately 30 trillion baht, $120 billion. The report also highlighted that it could take up to 3 weeks to restore production if the company's crucial memory chip lines were to come to a complete halt. This assessment comes as unionized workers at Samsung Electronics have announced plans for an 18-day large-scale strike, set to begin on Thursday, with more than 50,000 members expected to participate. Workers are demanding higher bonuses linked to the company's operating profit. Earlier, the BOK had projected South Korea's economy to grow by 2% in 2026. The economy had already expanded by 1.7% in the first quarter, marking its fastest growth in over 5 years, largely driven by robust semiconductor exports. Management and labor are currently engaged in government-mediated talks to prevent the strike. According to a statement released by the Iraqi Ministry of Oil on Monday, May 18th, Iraq's crude oil exports in April plummeted to approximately 9.88 million barrels. This represents a significant decrease of 46.9% compared to the 18.6 million barrels exported in March. The ministry, citing statistics from the Iraqi State Oil Marketing Organization, also reported that Iraq's crude oil export revenue in April surpassed $1.087 billion, approximately F-conjusted for Wiking Sub, 94,000 Ballermin The substantial drop in exports is largely attributed to the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran, which have led to disruptions and near stoppages in shipping traffic through the critical Strait of Hormuz, a key artery for global energy trade. These disruptions have significantly impacted Iraq's oil export volumes over recent months. In related news, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen announced on Monday via social media that the U.S. Treasury Department has decided to extend the sanctions waiver for Russian seaborne oil by another 30 days. This report was published by Lianhe Zhou. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.